What's up, everybody? Mark here with Coffee&Toys, bringing you another G.I. Joe Classified Series unboxing and review. And today, folks, we have a new Classified Deluxe figure and vehicle set that we are going to unbox on the channel today. And we're going to jump right into it. Today we have number 79 in the series, the Tele-Viper with the Cobra Flight Pod, aka the Trubble Bubble. Let's talk about it. So yes, this was one of the many pre-orders that have come up over the summertime that I'm sure you, or many like you, have pre-ordered, and I pre-ordered only one of these, and I'm kind of wishing now, without even unboxing it, that I had pre-ordered a second one. But yeah, it looks fantastic. This is, as I said, a deluxe figure accessory set. That basically means it's an oversized box. It's going to include a small vehicle similar to the Breaker and the Ram cycle, Baroness and the Coil cycle, Serpentor and his air chariot. It's along those same veins, and of course, it's in a very iconic Cobra baddie vehicle, the Trubble Bubble. Very heavily featured in the cartoon series. I remember as a kid, and those things would just get shot out of the air all the time. Most notably, is also seen in the beginning of the 1987 G.I. Joe movie, where Cobra Commander falls onto one and screams, "Retreat!" So that's my Cobra Commander impression, by the way. Hope you like it. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, what we do is we'll look at the figure while it's in the box. We'll talk about it. We'll go over some things, what I like, what I don't like, and then we'll actually dive into the figure itself, do the same thing, what I like, what I don't like, and then we'll do some comparisons, some contrast, and then I'll finally give my thoughts on the actual figure. Now, that being said, if it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and set it to all notifications, because I do a few of these videos per week. I do Masters Universe, Star Wars Vintage Collection, Star Wars Black Series, and of course G.I. Joe. That being said, if you're familiar with the channel, go ahead and smash that like button while you're down there, and let's go check out what the Cobra Trubble Bubble with Tele-Viper is all about. And here we have it, the Cobra Trubble Bubble. I should say it's the Cobra Flight Pod Trubble Bubble with Tele-Viper. I actually said that backwards. It says Tele-Viper and Cobra Flight Pod, but you know what I mean. Of course, we have that beautiful non-plastic G.I. Joe classified packaging, which will be going away at some point. But for the vehicles, it kind of makes sense. I mean, we don't necessarily need to see the vehicle. They do a really good job with this presentation artwork, or this digital render, I should say. And then the presentation artwork is what is over here and shows the Tele-Viper with his weird Sonic-looking gun thing. And of course, we see what else is included in the package. So yeah, very cool. Lots of Trubble Bubbles in the background. Of course, we have the Cobra logo at the bottom, ages 4 up. And on the side, I'm running out of room here. You'll have to look at it from this angle. It is number 79 in the series. And we do get that QR code, which doesn't ultimately take you anywhere. We do get the what his specialities are and his roles. I will slow down in the video when we see that in the back, which we're going to go to right now. So jumping right to that, there are his actual specialty weapons, military roles, what he's good at, etc., etc. And I will put the iconography on the screen here for a moment so you can read that over at your pleasure. You can pause the video. But otherwise, we will go back to looking at what is in the box. Of course, again, this is number 79 in the series. And on the left here, we have the Tele-Viper standing 6.3 inches tall. As you can see, he does come with his, I don't know what kind of gun this is, but he does come with that. And he comes with 2 alternate heads. We get a darker skinned head, and we get a head that is completely covered in his helmet. So you can really swap these out, and you know, that's why I say I kind of wish I got another one of these so I could do some of these swap outs and not just have one figure on the flight pod. But as you can see, the Trubble Bubble does come with its own accessory loadout. It is 5 inches tall, and it does. That's interesting. It's interesting that they put the backpack for the Trubble Bubble over here, because it really belongs to the Tele-Viper. I would have put it over here. I would have put. I'm going to critique this. I normally don't critique packaging this much, but I think I would have taken the head, moved them up, made them side by side, and then put the backpack either here or here. But anyway, that being said, of course, he does have the 2 missiles. Looks like he's got the little bomb that, if you remember, was included in it. Some little remote detonator, I believe. And then, of course, the Trubble Bubble itself. And over here on the side, you do get some call-outs with the arm of the Tele-Viper. the back of the Trubble Bubble, and the Cobra insignia on the other shoulder of the Tele-Viper. So, with that being said, I didn't show off that there is the beautiful artwork on the other side, and I apologize I can't get it fitting all in, but there you can see that wrist communicator or whatnot on the Tele-Viper's arm. So yeah, looking pretty cool. So with that being said, we'll set it right here, and in a moment we'll see what this looks like out of the box. Actually, I did want to take a quick moment to show you what the inner box does look like. Of course, you have the Tele-Viper here, you have the beautiful Tele-Viper artwork in the background, and you have the Trubble Bubble off to the right. And then you have this very large, they normally are about half this size, but this is a big one to have all the accessories. It's that Foot Locker type thing that comes with all the classified figures now, but this one's very large, so you can see it's, if I put it up there or if I put it off to the side, it's very large. So that's what the inner box looks like. We'll cut right back in just a moment. We'll actually have the figure and the Trubble Bubble out, and we'll start going through it. Okay, here we have it. We have the Tele-Viper and the Flight Pod, aka the Trubble Bubble. Of course, we will start with the action figure first, so we'll just look at the Tele-Viper, and right away, he is a lot of reused parts. I have not identified all of them yet, but I do know that the legs all the way down to the feet, and likely the midsection, torso, chest, are all part of Recondo. So that I've definitely identified just earlier. It does seem like this particular piece is, if I can get the camera to focus. Come on, camera, work with me here. Wow. Don't know if it's just my poor lighting or what. Let me do this. With our handy dandy light, we will really shine a light on this. So yeah, so this is a new piece, I believe. I'm still trying to identify the hands. I'm not sure if they might be new. Drop me a comment if you know whose hands those are. But the web gear over top is definitely new. The upper arms might be new as well. Actually, those might be bat. I'm not sure, but they could be bat upper arms. Not 100% sure on that without looking, but if we stick with the face sculpt is very good. Definitely gives that grimace of the Tele-Viper I seem to recall from the cartoon series. But yeah, looks very nice, very well painted. The silver paint is exceptional, almost shines. There's the profile, and of course the back. And of course the back of the figure, and I'm not going to go through all the articulation. You've collected or have watched enough classified videos, you know how it is. Now I will admit his head does seem a little off to the side from his neck, or maybe that's just me, I don't know. But yeah, looks very good. Now of course the Tele-Viper comes with more than just the figure itself. We have, as I mentioned earlier, two different swappable heads, which I will try not to drop. Of course, we have the more darker African-American skin tone, and then we have this crazy, like, futuristic helmet with these multiple red eyes on it. And yeah, I mean, this one's just a straight-up repaint, but it looks very nice as well. I'm trying to see if it's cast in the same color. It looks different whenever I have them far away. Yeah, it's the same color. This one looked darker, probably because it's further away from the light. Who knows? If I can get him to stand back up. Well, I guess he'll just sit there. So yeah, there's the first alternate head, and of course the crazy secondary head, which is just uber future realistic. I do enjoy that one. I might actually wind up using that one. I'll have to see how it looks like later. Of course, he also comes with a few other accessories. We'll start with his backpack. Classic, just like the original. You can see exactly, it almost looks exactly like the original. It's just got some purple highlights on it now, which look very cool. And of course, the single peg in the back. He comes with his crazy, I don't know what this gun is. Is it a sonic gun? Is it a radar you just hold up? Is it is it what the police use, like what the police use, and they just scan you as they're on the side of the road? I don't know. This is a weird, strange gun. And then, of course, he has the connector tube for that said gun right here. And, of course, it just pops right in at the bottom. And then I cannot remember, I think it plugs into the bottom of the, yes, into the bottom of his gun. And then you can even put it right on there. See, that's good. Again, I've mentioned it before, one of the things that the Hasbro team does very well is that they make sure that weapons fit on the character. So that just looks lovely. Can't wait to put that on later. And yeah, really that's all that he comes with. So what we'll do now is we'll get the camera to focus. I really, really wish it autofocused. Moving the Tele-Viper off to the side, we have the Trubble Bubble, which is very cool. Of course, I'm going to try to get it all in here so you can see it. As you can see, the first thing you notice is this moves. This is how you get the figure in and out. Very simply, I do believe this is how the original worked as well. You can see some great detailing going on in the back, some reds and green computer screens, all sorts of stuff. And of course, the canopy moves completely up and down, and you have the safety harness, which it's interesting to think that Cobra's actually concerned about safety, but you know, who knows? Maybe Mars Industries makes these for the good guys and the bad guys and have to have them, you know what I mean? So yeah, and then of course you've got these crazy, let me see if I can zoom in on that so you can see these fins on the turbines down here at the bottom. There's just a better picture overall so you can see the inside of that. What's interesting to me is you have a sonar back here. How in the world is someone going to see the sonar behind their seat? That's very interesting. And of course there's some other 70-30. Again, these are more things I think it'd be really hard to see when they're behind you. But as you can see, it's beautifully done. I mean, the attention to detail. SB, I wonder what SB stands for. Probably not Steel Brigade. But yeah, so you can see that. You can see this is where we're going to hook some additional pieces later. Here's where a fuse goes. I mean, very, very cool. Very, very cool. There's the back. You can see it's held in place with a few screws. There's some exhaust pipe or ports. The bottom of the vehicle has some cool stuff as well. And of course, this is where your bomb is going to connect, I believe. Oh, no, maybe not. I'm not really sure what's going to connect there. We'll find out. And on the other side, we have a 15E3MO. No idea what that stands for. And we have another little connector dock. And of course, the front, again, you have, I didn't show this part of it, but you can see this cool screen. Almost like a X-Wing screen, right? From Star Wars. So very cool. And of course, that turns, and this goes up and down. And yeah, your figure sits right inside of it. Now, included with the Trubble Bubble is a few different things. So we will start with, you have two of these little pegs, and those are what I mentioned earlier, going to the side, and those pegs are going to house the rockets. So of course the rockets would snap in like this. He says, not putting it in correctly, there we go. And then they will attach to the side of the Trubble Bubble. Also has the long nose gun, which I believe is actually what plugs into the bottom of this. So yes, this is where the nose gun will go. And once again, this thing just sets up spectacularly. I mean, I like that it just sets flat, so I don't have to necessarily get a stand to hold it. But moving on, we do get that little tiny Cobra bomb that we see on the bottom of it. Of course, it does have that wonderful caution, and if I read it very carefully, it says, if I can get to focus, highly explosive, handle with care, to remove, press, latch, release. So I bet this opens right up. If one were to have fingernails, or you could just break it off. Now that is a cool attention to detail. I like that. You could have the Tele-Viper maybe working on it, getting it ready to put on the Trubble Bubble. So very cool. And of course, here's the, here it is to the side, the opening that I broke off. Of course, it's just a hinge, so you can snap it right back in place, and then it goes right back on there. So very cool, very cool. And then finally, we do have the back of the Trubble Bubble, which I have yet to attach, which, you know, danger, hot exhaust. Looks like he's taken down 3 Joe aircraft. We've got the Cobra logo with PE49L7A. Don't know what that means. And then, of course, where it attaches on the back. On the other side, the same thing. In the top, we have those turbines. So, very, very cool. So that being said, I will focus the camera one more time, and I will be back with you guys in a minute to show you what it looks like all accessorized, and we'll get into final thoughts and go from there. Okay, there we have it. I have the Trubble Bubble fully assembled, and I went ahead and swapped out portraits on the Tele-Viper to show him off with that cool helmet, and of course put his backpack on him. Looks very cool. I like the way it looks. I figured we'd go together real quick and just put the figure in the Trubble Bubble ourselves. First time ever doing it, so bear with me if I do something wrong. My assumption is he will not be able to wear that, but we know that we turn this down and we simply put the figure in here. And I apologize if you hear some noises. My child is getting ready to come into the house and he'll probably be extra loud. But maybe he won't be, who knows. So, as you can see, we simply pull it together like so, put him back in there, and then try to get him to sit down in such a way that he will actually fit. Boy, I tell you what, I thought this would be easier. Of course, I am trying to do it so you guys can see it, and at the same time I might just have to set it down and put it together. So it should be just a simple snap together. All right, so there we go. And then fold up, fold down. They do have some snaps on the side where they do connect with a nice, well, I was hoping for a more satisfying snap, and I didn't get it. And I just knocked the missile off as well. So not the sturdiest, but that was mostly my fault. So even though I couldn't get it connect, it's pretty much what you have. Let me see if I can actually take him off camera for a second and get that to look a little better. Okay, I was able to get him fitting better in the Trubble Bubble. Of course, you can see now I got the snap in place. I have his hands on the actual handlebars. Of course, this does go down. I don't know why it doesn't seem to lock in place all the way on this side. It fits much more snug on this side. And the other thing I can't figure out is I cannot figure out how to attach the bomb. I thought this panel opened up, and as you can see, I've scraped the crap out of it trying to get it to open, and I cannot get this open. But I am sure, if I remember correctly, and again, put something in the comments if I'm completely wrong, but I thought that's where the actual bomb went, was up in there, and you could make it just, you know, have it hanging out. And I cannot figure out how to open that. Maybe there was something in an instruction that I missed somewhere. That's very well possible. But, and the other thing, once again, these missiles are very loose and come out very easily, especially, I can't remember which one it was, but these pegs do not stay in really well. I mean, they're not going to just fall out if it's, you know, if you're shaking it. But I've definitely knocked them out more times than I've cared for, and I've probably cussed more than once doing it. That being said, so we will set it down here once again, and I'll pull back just a little bit. Final thoughts on the Trubble Bubble. Very cool. Very glad to have it. Definitely is worth being in a classified collector's collection, because this is, as I said, a very iconic vehicle. Now for the price tag, do I think they could have included a stand? I think that would have been nice. But again, it does set well, so you don't really need one. But, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of collectors that would like to have this flying over, you know, Serpentor on his left or his right, or behind Cobra Commander or whomever. And it would just look extra special to see that. I do appreciate the alternate portraits. That makes me want to go out and get more of them. So that was a very good idea on Hasbro's part. But yeah, I think if I was just going to nitpick, it would be, I'm not sure where the bomb goes, because here it is again. I know it goes on the bottom of the Trubble Bubble. I just cannot get it to, I can't figure out where it goes. And I wish those rockets stayed in a little bit better. I'm afraid they're going to fall out at any moment. But that being said, I think this is a very, very cool thing. I do like they also put the little strut in there that holds both the rudders. That's pretty cool. But yeah, very cool. But what do you guys think? What do you think of the Cobra Trubble Bubble with Tele-Viper? Are you guys picking up 1, 2, maybe 3? Let me know in the comments down below, because I would be really interested in hearing what your thoughts on it are after seeing this review or having one in hand yourself. But that being said, I'm Mark, you've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.